Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. Mind your business. Only on Money FM 89.3.
Good morning. It's time to mind your business on The Breakfast Show with me, Audrey Seek. And let's talk about the way we work. It's changing and changing fast. Gone are the days when most of us just clock in, clock out, and call it a day. It's evolving into something more fluid, more independent, and more intentional. People want flexibility now, autonomy, and purpose. And at the same time, companies need to stay nimble, plugging talent gaps while keeping the business humming along smoothly. And that is where FastCo comes in. It's a platform that's all about matching this new, more flexible way of working with companies that need to adapt on the fly. So what does the future of work look like when it's designed to put people first? And how exactly is FastCo reshaping employment here in Singapore? Joining us to break it all down is Julian Tan, the founder and CEO of FastCo. Julian, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us in the studio.
Good morning, Audrey. Thank you very much for having me today.
Thanks so much for coming in. Let's start with the big picture first, Julian. With the rise of platforms, I think everyone is very familiar with Grab and Uber, in the States and other parts of the world. The gig economy really has taken off. So how would you describe where Singapore's gig economy stands today?
Well, Singapore's gig economy has come a long way. You're right. In the early days, it was mostly ride-hailing or food delivery. But over the last few years, we've seen that really evolved. And now we're seeing a lot of strong demand for roles in retail, logistics, F&B, and even events. So it's become a much more diverse and dynamic space for people who want flexible work options. So on our platform, FastGig, we've actually seen very, very strong growth firsthand. So in the first half of this year alone, we've already seen the number of new companies hiring through FastGig more than double.
Wow.
And on the job seeker side as well, we've seen a 30% year-on-year increase in new users. So many of whom are looking for a lot more autonomy, flexibility, or simply a second source of income.
Yeah. So what types of gig jobs are most in demand these days here in Singapore, and how has that evolved over the last few years?
So while ride-hailing and food delivery still make up a big part of the gig economy, we're now seeing strong demand from sectors like retail, logistics, F&B, and even events. So roles such as grocery shoppers, e-commerce packers, event assistants, F&B service staff, and retail assistants. So these are especially popular, especially during big sales or festive seasons. So what's appealing about this gig is that they offer the flexibility along with the chance for workers to actually gain hands-on experience across different industries.
Yeah. All right. So you named so many industries there. Have you seen any particular industry or job functions benefit the most from tapping gig workers?
Yes. We've seen the greatest impact in frontline, operational, and shift-based roles. So where flexibility and fast hiring is really important. So gig workers allow companies to respond very, very quickly to changes in demand, and they can avoid understaffing or overstaffing, and at the same time manage costs more effectively. So one great example we have is Decathlon. They've been using FastGig since 2023, and our giggers have helped support their retail manpower needs, especially during the peak season. For example, in last year, FastGig was able to successfully fill 75% of their requests within a short time frame to support their retail operations across the stores nationwide.
Wow. Okay. So we know that FastGig has seen a healthy rise in interest. Do you think employers in Singapore are keeping up with this shift towards gig-based hiring, or do you feel there's still some resistance compared to other markets?
I would feel that in Singapore, a lot of the employers are actually seeing the benefits of using the gig workers, and a lot of it is for them to be able to manage costs a lot more efficiently and also be able to hire especially to fill seasonality needs as well as in peak seasons very, very quickly without at the same time having to overcommit to hiring a full-timer.
Yeah. So you talked about the benefits for the employer there, it's more cost effective. How about for the gig workers? They have their own unique challenges as well, inconsistent pay, maybe lack of security for some of them. How is FastCo helping to tackle some of these issues head on?
Yes, so for job security and fair treatments are very, very important and real concerns for gig workers. And at FastCo, we take that very, very seriously. So one of the key things we do is to ensure that workers are paid very, very regularly and on time. And so there's no delays, they don't have to chase for payments, just peace of mind to work. And at the same time, we also understand that workplace safety is very, very important. So for FastGig, we actually provide workplace insurance. So if anything happens on the job, their medical bills are covered. And even before any employer comes on our platform, we do a thorough vetting process. We ensure that companies are reputable companies. And sometimes we even have our team test out the jobs to ensure that it's safe and a good fit for our giggers.
Okay, so we talked a lot about Fast Gig, and now I want to turn to Fast Jobs. They're both under JustCo, and they serve slightly different needs. So could you share how they kind of complement each other and what roles they each play in shaping the future of work here?
So at FastCo, we operate two platforms that serve the non-executive or blue-collar job market. Fast Jobs has been around for 10 years. It's a job matching platform that helps people to find full-time and contract roles. While on the other hand, Fast Gig focuses on shift-based, on-demand work. So it connects individuals like your stay-at-home mothers, retirees, students, or those in between jobs with flexible opportunities.
Okay.
So together, Fast Jobs and Fast Gig offer a full spectrum of options. From quick gigs you can start right away to longer-term skill-based roles.
Okay, so let's just say I'm a job seeker today. How do I find reliable employers quickly through your platform? If you could just walk us through the process.
Right, so it's very easy. We know that job seekers now, they don't have a lot of time. So the way our platform works, very, very simple interface. When they come onto the platform, whether it's Fast Jobs or Fast Gig, they will see a whole listing of jobs that they can apply to. We also use AI to be able to match the type of relevant jobs to the job seeker as well. So within a couple of seconds, they can easily click on the job or the shift that they want, apply for it, and either the employer would come back to them, or we, for Fast Gig, sometimes we help the employer to allocate the shifts to the right and relevant job seeker.
Okay. So we know that FastCo has also grown beyond Singapore into Malaysia and the region as well. What are some interesting differences you're seeing in how people approach gig work across Southeast Asia?
Well, we're noticing that while flexible work is actually in high demand across Southeast Asia, the way people engage with work varies a little bit from country to country. So, for example, in Singapore, gig work is often a way to earn extra income, whether you are in between jobs or juggling things like school or family commitments. While in Malaysia, where the gig economy is booming too, but a lot of people actually rely on it as their main source of income. So whether it is ride-hailing, delivery services, or other service jobs. So they are actually very, very focused on finding maybe a couple of gig jobs to supplement their incomes.
Okay, so in Singapore, gig work still sometimes seen as a short-term fix maybe. Do you think that may change here in Singapore? Is gigging going to become a serious long-term career for some people?
I think gig work in Singapore is definitely starting to move beyond just being a stopgap. So yes, traditionally, people work during the school holidays or, in between jobs. But that perception is shifting. And platforms like FastGig, we don't just connect people to short-term work. What we actually do is we actually help gig workers to build up a track record and earn credibility over time. So that will open doors to better gigs, higher pay, perhaps even full-time opportunities. And I must say one of our favorite stories is about a gigger who started with Decathlon through FastGig. She did so well that over time they offered her a full-time position in 2023. And today she is a department manager leading a team at one of their largest stores.
Wow. Okay. So definitely maybe a start of a journey for the gig worker. What about for the companies? Do you have any standout stories where flexible talent really helped the business kind of pivot or solve a crunch problem kind of fast?
Yes, in a lot of examples like logistics especially. So during the peak season last year, we've also saw a logistics company that needed warehouse packers on short notice, especially during the major online sales events. So what happened was their full-time staff couldn't meet the volume spike. But with gig workers onboarded through FastGig, they scaled up within days and without having to commit to a permanent hiring that they might not need after the event.
Okay, interesting to hear that it can benefit both the employer and the employee. Singapore talks a lot about skills and upskilling, you know. How does FastCo help gig workers build their skills and open doors for better opportunities then?
So you're absolutely right. Today, Singapore has placed a very strong emphasis on skills and upskilling. And at FastGig, we see gig work not just as short-term income, but as a real platform for growth. So each time a gigger completes a shift through our platform, it adds to their digital work history. So employers can see things like attendance, reliability, and overall performance. So if someone consistently shows up, does a good job, they naturally will get access to better gigs, higher pay, and more frequent opportunities. And we also encourage employers to give feedback, which help workers know where they are doing, how they can improve. And in fact, you know, we always encourage the employers give opportunities to perhaps even coach some of their gig workers and offer opportunities if they want to take on a full-time role in the future.
Yeah, help me help you, right?
Yes.
All right, Julian, before you go, we know that you have a track record as an entrepreneur and board member for some big names, from Q10 to SG Carmart and more. Can you tell us a few lessons from those roles that have shaped how you lead FastCo today?
So one of the biggest lessons that I've learned as an entrepreneur is that clarity of purpose is very, very important, especially when we are growing across different markets. So when everyone understands why the company exists and what we stand for, it creates alignment, whether you're in Singapore, Malaysia, or anywhere else. So for us at FastCo, that purpose is all about creating equal access to job opportunities, especially for the underserved job seekers. And we look for the same belief in everyone, you know, that we hire, whether you are an engineer, whether you are a product manager, a salesperson, or an operations staff. And, you know, it's all about the people, as culture cannot build itself. It's something that we have to work on actively. So for us, for every new hire, we look beyond just skills. We run collaborative workshops so that we can ensure that the new hires are able to work well with the existing teams. And for me personally, I would actually interview every single candidate.
Wow.
So it's not about finding smart people, but really about people who truly care about the mission. And when you get that right, the culture becomes be able to scale naturally.
Yeah, I like that. Culture cannot build itself. Well, that was a look at how flexible work is reshaping Singapore's job market and what the future of work will look like. Big thanks to Julian Tan, founder and CEO of FastCo, for joining us today. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you. Keep it here on Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.